the next one is, I've written B. Robertson because I don't know your first name. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How do you get the pictures up? Just okay, they're coming backwards for me. Okay. Oops.
There we go.
And what? You just click on the side to. Alright.
Just the arrows, isn't it, guys?
Okay. I'll just quickly span through that. That's what's happening now. No pictures of Spencer Park underwater. I'm Barry Robertson. I'm actually a member of the Styx River Committee that you were talking about before. Working party, yeah. It's coming through. How do you actually format this real fast? Oh, okay. This one here, isn't it? Oh, just going forward, no, okay. That's backward, I'll go. Oh, okay, then. What's happened here? Yeah, no, I haven't actually started my ones. Can I go on to the next lot? They're actually still pennies.
Oh, okay, if you go down here, click on...
Yep. No, they're still Penny Hargraves.
Yep, that's...
They should have come under B. Robertson. There should be some under here. Oh, there. That's where, yeah. Is it started from Nah, it's still under pennies. Can you get back through the morning?
So everything that we have received is just saved in here.
There should be some under.
Just bring your gin and the keyboard.
I'd like to give a little bit of history on what's happened with the Styx River. I'm proposing
Can you start doing one again?
Rather what's happened to the river, how it's been neglected and left. I think this is a cheaper option than actually spending the money to actually get it back to its serviceable life. The Styx River was running fine, but back in the sort of mid-90s they did the Northwood subdivision, and under the Northwood subdivision they put approximately about a metre of mud into the Styx, and at the time the council engineers decided to put a ponding lake in the actual upper catchment of the Styx Mill Road. Now when they did that, I actually notified them and said, I think you're running a hell of a risk putting it there, because that is where all your springs come up. But they assured me they knew what they're doing, but it turned out they didn't. And they dug into the aquifers. They dug into them so much that actually dropped the whole pressure for the whole of Northwood and Belfast. And because they dropped the pressure of that, what actually happened is a lot of the streams around Belfast went dry. So to cure that problem, they put a well in there to feed into these streams. This is pure artesian water. I'll just go back to the first one. The water that's coming out of that ponding area that they've actually dug up is what's originally increased the flow of the Styx River, and it's pure artesian water, and it's the biggest wastage of pure artesian water in the whole of New Zealand, and it's flowing straight into the Styx River and straight out to sea, and actually flooding people downstream. Because of when they put that in, it dropped the aquifer pressures, and what they've done to compensate for that is, because the stream's running dry, they put another well in Belfast, and they pump this water another lot of pure artesian water. They pump it into some of the streams around Belfast. They pump it in 24 hours a day, even when the Styx is in flood, even the river's in flood. And just that one small well alone, which is a token of the other amount, is enough pure artesian drinking water to feed the whole Ashburn and Rakaia with drinking water. Now, if you put the two combined, it is actually billions of, multi-millions or billions of dollars worth of artesian drinking water that's flowing into the Styx and flowing out to sea. It seems a total waste. And with the combination of that and the combination of all the silt that's been put in there, which was acknowledged by the council outgoing engineers, and the increase in flow, the actual increase in flow is mapped by NIWA, but it's also been hidden by the engineers again by changing the metering point, which used to be on Marston's Road. They changed the metering point of the Styx River back to Radcliffe Road, and it doesn't include the Capitone River. So by that, but still, even with that in mind, the results still show the huge increase in water flow that's been going in with all the subdivisions. And the acknowledgement of all this silt that's coming out through the subdivisions, they actually started to dredge around the loop of the radio tower there. Now that work was started, and it was started just before winter, and because of the winter and driving the trucks out and that, it was proposed to leave it off for a couple of months. It was put on hold for a couple of months, and then has never been completed since the mid-90s to this day. The money for that was taken over by the beautification, which actually run the river now. They actually don't want that river to flow as a river. They want it to flood because it's in their interest, because they are buying up all the land that's flooded at a cheap rate for the source to the sea. Now, that's fine if they want to do that, but it's still, what's happening is, because of all this flooding, the engineers have come back thinking, oh, we've got some liability here. So what they've done is they've changed all the farmland around the area to floodplain and flood management to compensate for all the money made by the subdividers upstream. We are actually paying for that in a degradation of our land. Now, if you want to have the river, you either have it as a drain for subdivisions or you have it as a river. Now, the only way I can see you can doing that is to put a rowing lake that runs from the 2K stretch from the end of where the river meets the road again, from the plantation down to Spencerville. There's a 2K straight. The land is actually for sale at the moment, and it has the original path of the river with the natural geology of the land to flow that, and it can be done at very cheap price. And it's a lot cheaper option than spending 50 or 100 million what they're trying to dredge the whole river down. It would also cut down on the weed eater cost, the maintenance cost, and the beautification. People can have their river flooding at that part or sitting there, and it won't affect other people's land with it flooding.
Thank you for your submission, but again, it's the same with the previous one. Sorry. We've come to the end of the time that's been allocated, and I've reset the alarm. I reset the clock when your slides weren't working. So
yeah, what I was looking for is even some development money for investigating this option.
Well, I'm going to sort of defer to the process that we're in at the moment. So
yeah.
We will consider all of the options that are presented to us before we make any decisions. Yeah. So thank you very much for your time.
Okay, it's good, thanks.
Thank you. Diane.